And we're live. We're good in there, right? We're actually really live. No bullshit. We're live. So I want to welcome everyone to the show. I want to thank kvar.com. Everybody go visit kvar.com for all your firearms needs. Don't forget to check them out. I want to thank everybody in the booth. Rory, Derek, Q, Melody. Everybody's done a fantastic job. I have a special guest today. She's nervous.
You had to say that.
She's nervous, so I want to break the ice on that. She's probably my best friend here, and really one of the most genuine people who's had nothing to do with the firearms business since probably the day she left the Marine Corp, correct in saying that, and has been involved in fitness and a bunch of other genres. And I'm super excited to have her because she's one of the most down-to-earth people, and it's going to be cool to talk to her about a bunch of stuff going on with her and things coming up. Taylor Spadaccino.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
So Taylor is a former Marine Corps, right?
Yep.
Okay, you got that right. And you were in when?
2008 to 2012.
2008, 2012. Mm-hmm. What was, take me through, just for so everyone gets a little background on you, even though your story's out there, people know who you are, you're known. What got you to the Marine Corps, and what got you from Marine Corps to Redcon to now being this fitness model guru, cha-cha-cha? How did you get here?
Well, I kind of told you the story.
Tell it again. Everyone doesn't know.
Right. So actually, nobody really knows this part of my life. I've mentioned it nonchalantly.
I know, but give a little Reader's Digest.
Okay, so I was always the trouble child in my family. No, I got in a lot of trouble in high school.
You and everyone else.
Yeah. Some legal troubles. I ended up with a bad drug problem. Got addicted to OxyContin in high school.
Wah.
And I went to rehab for 3 months out of my senior year. Got out. I had already gotten in trouble. I got out from rehab, and I ended up getting in more trouble. And it was funny. I worked at Hooters at the time when I was a senior in high school.
You never told me that.
Yeah. And the Marine recruiter used to come in and eat. Like, the whole office would come in and eat. And I was in a lot of trouble, and I had a buddy who told me, I got in some trouble too, but my dad said, maybe I should look into the military. It could really help me out, and that's what I did. I didn't tell my parents, and I went to the recruiter's office who knew me from Hooters, which is funny. And he's like, yeah, I could help you out with your legal situation. We can get you all settled, really get you some priorities in life. And
do they really do that? Like,
yeah.
What do they do? Like, they call the judge? Or how does that work?
No, he went to my court with me, and they told him I enlisted before.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you go in and you enlist. And I remember you telling me this part. You went in, you enlisted. You didn't tell anybody.
No,
did you?
I didn't tell anyone.
You just were like, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. And I didn't know what the Marines were.
I'm going to get a get out of jail free card.
I had no idea anything about the Marine Corps. Like, nothing. I didn't have any siblings. My grandfather was in the Navy, but back in D-Day time, so I didn't know anything.
So you just looked at the poster and you were like, America.
I had no clue. I was just like, oh, you can help me out, get me, help
I'm
me get
out
my
of prison.
shit together.
I'm out of prison and I'm not hooked on OCs anymore.
So yeah, it's kind of what happened. And I remember I went up to MEPS and I had my physical and I actually enlisted, and I called my mom, and I was at my girlfriend's house when I called her, and I said, Mom, I enlisted in the Marine Corps. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I enlisted in the Marine Corps. And she's like, no, you fucking didn't. And
she
I
was
said,
like,
yes, I did.
She was like, you little bitch. It was
yeah,
like
she was probably so relieved, though. She's probably like, finally, get your shit together. So
we have people here dealing with addiction, but that addiction usually stems around food. We have some people dealing with some food issues. And Q and Rory are big thumbs up. We're battling donut addiction coupled with sugar depression and mixed with carboholic intake. We're on a 12-step program. It involves cutting out the Wynn buffet, Caesars, and we'll go on and on. But that's actually a pretty cool wrinkle in the story you told me. So you're in Hooters, and the Marine recruiter comes in, and what's his big sales pitch to you? He's like, this is the only way I can get you in my office, or how did that work?
No, so he really didn't. I just knew that they used to come in their uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And I just knew that they were Marine recruiters. I didn't know he didn't approach me. I approached him once my buddy was like,
They
hey,
can get you out of
help you.
shit.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Now you go overseas.
I did.
Where?
Afghanistan, Bagram Air Base.
Oh, nice. So you go overseas. Are you like freaking out inside? Like, what did I get myself into? Or are you like, fuck it, I'm all in. I'm out of boot camp and I'm ready to conquer the world?
Kind of. It was scary, but from what we were told is it was going to be like a cupcake deployment. It was supposed to be super easy. Just get some mortars every couple days. You go to the bunker. That's it. And it wasn't supposed to be a big deal. So going in, I was okay. I was okay. But then things,
fizzled from there. And it got a little intense. And
it did. Did I ever show you my Sercom I got?
No, what did you get?
I got a very cool award. We got attacked really badly. It was actually nobody expected it because we're an air base. We're not infantry. Nobody really expects to see any gunfire or grenades or anything like that. But we did. Our base got attacked by the Taliban pretty bad, right at the Marine Corp. We're at the Marine Corps section. So
was that when
we won Unit of the Year, which
Ooh.
was funny. Yeah, because we're air wingers. We're not supposed to see anything.
Right.
So it was pretty big for our unit.
Was that like when you were like, get me the fuck out of here?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? It was 2 weeks
time to
in.
go.
And I'm like, that's not a mortar when everything kicked off. No, that was a grenade outside my hut. And it just sucked that it happened 2 weeks in because I was just fucked mentally for the rest of the deployment. I was like, why couldn't this happen at the end? But it's okay. So.
So you do the deployment.
Yep.
Deployment ends. Are you like, now what? Where does the fitness come in? When does Fit Taylor hit the scene? And why fitness?
Right about then.
Right about then?
Yeah, right about then.
So you start training.
I started working out in Afghanistan because when you're not working, you don't have anything to do but smoke cigarettes, dip, and go to the gym, the shitty little gyms.
So you're like, I got to get a pump.
Yeah, and actually I was dipping too back then too. So I was like,
everybody, did you hear that?
I have photos of me packing the can, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, no, my whole theory was I'm going to quit cigarettes with dip, and then it was like
that's
I got to take my dip out to go smoke a cigarette,
theory.
and it didn't work.
Hey, Derek, you want to take this? Because it's not showing the live. It's pointless. Derek's coming in, and he's going out. Brief intermission. So, see if you can find it. I don't know. Anyway, anywho. So you quit. I don't want to say quit. You quit the dip.
Yeah, I did.
And you got into fitness and you got into training. What was it like, and how does the Redcon thing come into play?
So I competed for a couple years. I did bikini. I don't know if you guys know the whole bikini division thing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I decided
You're not the first fitness person that's graced this podcast.
And then I wanted a little bit more muscle, so I bumped up a division. And I turned pro pretty quickly. I did one, regional show and then one national show. And with that national show, I got my pro card. And I just started my social media, like actually posting to it. And I remember getting messages from this company, Redcon One, and they had like no followers. So I'm like, what? And it's like talking about a sponsorship.
You think it's an Asian in like a Singapore company, but it's really Aaron.
Yeah, and I just kept ignoring the messages, and then I think it was Aaron kept leaving comments on my photos.
It's like him or his wife
DM.
that originally ran it, right?
And yeah, and I finally I checked my DMs. I actually took it serious, processed it, and the whole time I'm like, well, they don't have a lot of followers. I never heard of them. They had just launched the company, so. But I ended up speaking with them and Aaron, and then I spoke with his wife and Eric Hart. He's over there at the company too. And next thing, they sent me some products. I loved it, and I was like, okay, let's do this. And then ever since then, Redcon's just exploded. So it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a race between them, First Form, and a couple other brands on it. Obviously, that works with me on the podcast. There's a few brands out there that are really getting it right, and I think Redcon's one of them. They have a really good core with Kayla and Maddie, and I know Brian Shaw is still with them, I believe. So they have some cool flair. I mean, I definitely like what they're doing. So you do all this, and this is pretty crazy. And then we cross paths at a few shows, and somehow I end up out here, and it's kind of wild because does the Marine Corps teach you that work ethic where you want to go into shows, because you're humble when it comes to the IFBB Pro thing. You don't list like Taylor Spadaccino IFBB Pro like everybody else. Do you feel like that's watered down and everybody's doing it, so you just don't? Or
Well, I did for a little bit. Like in my little bio, I had it,
Yeah.
but I was like, well, I'm not really that person anymore. I'm not competing anymore. So I still am a figure pro, but I switched it. But yeah, I definitely think the Marine Corps taught me my work ethic and my self-respect and my priorities and just about everything else.
Because in every conversation we've had, you're a worker. And you're like, I want to be around workers. And like, fuck these lazy people. I can't do it.
Yeah, I like work. I like.
So that definitely instills that in you, because you have that desire to kind of whatever you're doing, you do it to the max. And I noticed like you don't take on anything more that you can't handle, even though, in social media, you see so many people that whore themselves out and they'll take on everything that they can. I mean, not to say you've pushed away from that, but you kind of are like, no, I really like this project. And, you and I have talked about that. And you're like, I'm going to focus on this and I'm going to stay there. Is that just a business choice, or you feel like you just don't want to say yes to everyone that offers you $500?
Oh, definitely. Well, for me, it's like my own mental health. Like I have had a lot of companies come at me for products and different sponsorships. And one time I did take on a clothing sponsorship for 6 months, and honestly, it was awful. It was I hate the stress of having to post, and it's like, if I don't 110% believe in the product, why am I going to post about it? Redcon is so easy for me to post and promote, so it's not really a task or a job for me. But a lot of these companies, they put a quota on how many times you have to post in your story a week and all this, and the money's not worth it to me. I don't want to stress about it. It's just not worth it.
So how do you choose the companies that you like, or are there companies out there you look at and you're like, give some advice to people starting out? Like, is it like, just like, hey, geez, I really dig their clothes or their photos on IG, or you're a customer first and you buy the product?
Yeah, well, you gotta like the product, of course, before you even consider. I feel like a lot of these people they'll take whatever's thrown at them, but you obviously, you're promoting it. These poor people are spending their money on it. It's got to be something you really believe in. And I think the company has to have good core values. Like, something about Redcon right off the bat was on the positive list for me was they 365 days a year, give a 25% discount to, I'm not trying to do a sales pitch, but this is awesome.
Do the pitch.
They, a discount for first responders and military. And for me, like, I'm such a little patriotic brat. Like, that is so cool to me. I think it's awesome that they hook up and take care of our veterans and our active duty and our first responders.
They've always come out strong with that. That's been one of their hallmarks from day one, of course. I even noticed that when I tried their product. And when I was dusting it off and being a brand ambassador and getting my ass in shape, I ended up going with a competitor at the time. It just, the connection for me was there more personally to do what I did and work with Blackstone at the time. And, I definitely see it as being customer first. Then you kind of back into what makes you happy about the brand or the company. And of course, the first responder thing, working with the military, that is a huge, huge piece. And I think companies now are getting into it. Obviously, First Form was kind of a big, I don't want to say pioneer of that, but they were one of the first companies to get out there and really get behind law enforcement, military. And then Redcon really took it to another level in what they're doing. But I'm super pumped to have you in the building, because I've been, telling you about what I do and being here and being there. And to have you check out some of our stuff, you got to see some of the AKs, you got to see the pistol line, the Rex pistol line, the Arsenal AK. Super cool stuff. I know it's like, you're a self-proclaimed not a gun guru, not a gun person, but it's cool to check out some of the stuff and just say, hey, wow, this is actually, what you guys do here. So when you now, being out of the Marine Corps, is shooting, or, I noticed some pictures, there's some stuff on your IG that highlights you shooting or potentially shooting, and there's the IG, everybody's going to get to see it. Is that something, a photo shoot you just got dragged into, or are you like a pro-gun person, pro-2A? Does that fall into the patriotic lines for you?
Absolutely. And I grew up in a hunting family, and some people are against this, but I grew up in a hunting family, so I was always around guns. My father had me with the rifle in the backyard at the mountain house, shooting the Coke cans and the cards, and
look at you.
So, yeah, So I grew up around them. I'm totally, pro 2A, and I think I don't know. I like to show my support for it. And ever since the Marine Corps, I haven't shot too much. I went with my brother a couple times when I was back in Philly. And out here, I took a couple handgun lessons, some, defense courses. So I really need to get back into it because I would like to.
Do you feel like the training post-Marine Corps was like something, a bit of a passion where you're like, geez, I got to get actually good at this now that I'm home and I'm in a civilian environment? Like, I feel like I need a little bit of training or I need to just buff up. Is it something you're going to stick with?
I would like to, I'm a single woman. I live by myself, and I would like to, for safety reasons especially. And it's fun. I have a stepsister who's so into it. She's just, that's her way. My way to let go of stress is the gym, but
we gotta get her out
is
here.
going to the range. So that would be cool if I could incorporate shooting like that too.
Yeah, why don't we get her out here? We can get her shooting some guns. So that's awesome. I mean, obviously all that stuff, contributes to the same thing. It's something I've been preaching for years, and Tony has, and a few of the guys. It's like the fitness and the training and the shooting all go hand in hand. And you being former Marine Corps, now into fitness, and now weight training, it's just all goes hand in hand, and it's kind of one extends to the other, to the other, to the next. And I felt that way for a long time, and I've said it. And in the beginning of my journey around the defense industry, it was one of those things like, oh, he just wants to get fitness people, and blah, 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 blah. But I really genuinely feel that way. One's an extension of the other. I mean, you come across, we had Colby Covington in here, former current welterweight UFC champion. It's just one is an extension of the other. They all love the theme of defense and like any way they can defend themselves. And like you said, being a single woman, obviously having access to firearms and being in the great state of Nevada, you have the luxury of being able to purchase whatever you want, essentially, which is great. And growing up on it helps. No doubt about it, because you get familiar with it. You start out at an early age. Obviously, some states don't have the same luxury. You can't get access to anything. You can't go to ranges like you can here. Like we have 702, Machine Gun Vegas, all these different places where you're able to shoot whatever you want. Makes it incredibly difficult. It's awesome being in the state.
Because you like the state?
Well, I like the gun laws. I like the gun laws. I do miss home, as you know. New England will always be my home, and Boston will always be near and dear to me, as I'm sure Philly will be for you. But I feel like more at home in pro-2A states and pro-gun states. I can never go back to Massachusetts. I've said that to you. I can never go back. I don't know how you feel about Philly, but I can never go back.
My family's there, so that's the big thing. But no desire to live there. No.
None. If you weren't here, where would you be?
I don't know. I think somewhere on the West Coast. But you know what? My favorite place I ever lived, I will say, is Wilmington, North Carolina.
You say that all the time.
I do. It's a great city. It really is. And the beach is right there.
Shout out to Wilmington.
Yeah, Wilmington. You rock.
And you still have a home there?
No, I have a home in Havelock, which is right by Cherry Point. And I have a home in Philly.
Beautiful. Well, it's one of those things that deciding where you live, sometimes you don't have a say in it if you're going to be one of those guys that's pro 2A and you're going to be, you want to have all the rights extended to you because some of these states just make it impossible to have anything. Luckily, Pennsylvania is not too bad. North Carolina is pretty wide open. And Nevada, you go to Cali, you're fucked.
Nevada, you can do anything.
Nevada, you can do anything.
Literally anything, probably.
For now. But Rory's working on the gun laws and everything. He's seeing the governor tighten up. Rory has some thoughts on that. I'm sure he's going to cue every day there's something new, and I'm not familiar with the Nevada laws, but Rory, what the fuck is going on? Give us an update on Nevada.
We got a lot of Democratic elected officials in place now
that are fucking it up.
Pretty much. They're just trying to railroad everything through as much as they can, as quick as they can, essentially trying to California or Nevada overnight. But it seems like with a couple of issues, the governor, heard some strong voices from the law enforcement community, specifically the sheriffs throughout Nevada recently, and they've kind of put their foot down with a lot of things. And I think he's finally maybe getting the message that we're a very pro-2A state. I think the last statistics I read, it's about 51% gun owners in the state, and if they think we're going to just back off easy and let us become California overnight as far as gun laws go, it's just not going to happen.
We're not going to take it.
Pretty much.
Taylor needs to know because she has to plan her move. She's, she'll have to get out.
Well,
she's not going to take
Arizona? I don't know much about Arizona's gun laws.
Well, they're wide open right now, right, Rory?
you talking about for Arizona?
Currently, Arizona's wide open.
I mean, I can't get into the nitty gritty of everything that they're doing right now because I'm not too up to date on it. But I will say that
So if we have to flee Nevada, we can go to
We're
Arizona.
hopping right over.
the biggest thing about Arizona right now is they do constitutional carry. So pretty much if you're legal to own a firearm, you can conceal carry a weapon without getting a permit or going through any training classes or anything like that.
Right.
So, you know, they call it constitutional carry. And other states are starting to enact that law as well. And I'm hopeful one day maybe Nevada will get it as well. So it's just kind of a waiting game at this point.
But we can have anything here. We can have suppressors and crazy stuff here, right?
You have crazy animals.
We can have animals too. We can get some fucking tigers.
Prostitution and
Prostitution.
Hop on over to Bunny Ranch, John.
Bunny Ranch. I'm not going to Bunny Ranch.
I wouldn't go there either.
So you know, it's a fun state, and you know, it's kind of serendipitous that you ended up calling it home. So did I, for however long I'm here. But I think that's a lot of fun, and I think that this state, obviously, I was excited to come to it for a couple of reasons. One, you know, having the chance to be in a warm weather climate was huge for me coming out of Montana, and I'm sure a little bit of an adjustment and fun for you. But really, the fitness and the shooting community kind of now marry the two. It's a lot of fun here. There's no doubt. It's a
Big
lot
fitness
of fun.
community as well.
Huge. You know, I took Derek over to LVAC the other day, and he was like, "Holy shit, is this a gym? It looks like fucking Child World."
Everyone says it looks like a shopping mall.
Yeah, it looks like a shopping mall.
It does. It's huge.
I just dated myself saying Child World, but it's like it was like a palace to him, and he was like, "I got to take a picture of this. The scope of it is ridiculous." But it's pretty intense here. It's a lot of fun, and you have a really good community and a really good area. So I think that, coupled with the weather and everything else, just make it a really fun place to live.
It really is hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really hot.
So let me ask you this. Where does Taylor go from here now that she wants to conquer the world? What's the next step and what's the next thing?
As far as like my career in general, so, you know, I had mentioned on my Instagram, I tried the whole accounting and, you know, corporate world, and that just did not work out for me. I was not feeling it.
You mean you don't want a desk job?
No, it was it was fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
In the cubicle underneath the fluorescent lights, yeah, I wanted to stab my eyeballs out every day. It was awful. I lasted 8 weeks. That's the running joke in my family. I was an accountant for 8 weeks. But no, I want to start my own company. So.
What are you going to sell?
That's to be found out.
Oh, we're not getting any exclusives. So the next step is obviously to start your own business. Let me ask you this, because you've always been patient in kind of the things that you choose and the projects that you jump into. I've noticed that about you, which is so different than everybody else on social media. So let me this is an important question, and give everybody an answer. What advice, because I look at the way you've handled things, and I've jumped around a couple companies just because of relationships, and I have a lot of ties across all the industries. So for me, I'm one of those guys that says yes to a lot of people to kind of appease them. What makes you so patient, and how do you get to that point where, you know, your projects are you're not biting off every little project? What advice would you give to someone starting out that maybe just won their first show or just got out of the military and they're looking for that next step? What's the one nugget of advice?
Don't take everything that gets thrown at you. You have to make sure it's good for you, you need to make sure it's good for you in many different aspects. You know, make sure that the company's taking care of you the way that you should be. Know your value, how you should be getting, taken care of and compensated. And don't overdo it. Don't spread yourself thin, because, then what company's going to want you if you're spreading yourself thin? Make yourself, boost your value, don't lower it. So.
That's good. Don't spread yourself thin and boost your value, don't lower it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
just like if you're a model, you don't work with every photographer, because then what photographer wants to shoot you?
That's great advice.
If every photographer shoots, she's already shot by everyone.
That's actually great advice for the female market. I've never heard that. Don't work with every photographer. Don't just say yes if it's a free photo shoot, right?
Exactly. If it's a free shoot, make sure that the work is good, that it's someone reputable,
that you want to work with.
Yep.
How do you choose your photographers? To all these young girls out there coming out, like, how do you pick them?
I gotta feel comfortable with the photographer if I'm gonna shoot with them. There's some like real sketchy ones out there.
Of course.
And of course, the work's got to be good. And A lot of people tell me, they'll say, oh, you don't pay for shoots. No, I pay. If it's a photographer that's really good, I will pay. That's not an issue to me. I want good quality work.
Yeah, so if they just...
Don't feel like you're above paying. I mean, sure, once I get to a certain level, or if anyone gets to a certain level, they may not have to pay. But just last year, I paid for a shoot.
Yeah, you don't want to pay all the time, but if you're building a book,
for sure.
if you're building a book, you want to, and there's a look you want to kind of go after, don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm willing to like pay that,
I'm going to compensate you. Your work is good, and
I'm going in that direction in my career.
I don't have a million followers. I don't expect you to shoot me for free. I'm not above paying, so.
Yeah. No, and that leads to the next question. What do you think of social media?
It's good and it's bad.
Come on.
No, yeah, it's got its good sides and it's not so good sides. I think it could be used as a very good tool if you're spreading positivity and good shit. I'll say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also think it's really sad because I found myself a victim to comparing myself to other females. I think, and it's not just females, it's men too. Maybe they don't talk about it as much, but I'm sure the men are doing the same shit. But you compare yourself to these girls that are either photoshopped or maybe they don't have a job and that's all they do is they train. That's what they do. Like, someone who's working 40, 50 hours a week may not have enough time, as much time to work on their body and their diet. And it's hard to compare yourself. It's just, you need to take a step back and realize like your worth and your value is not determined by likes.
500 likes equals $0.
Exactly.
I feel like you go through phases in social media.
I do.
You go through phases. Well, we all do. You go through phases where you start out and it's a fun little thing and you just throwing pictures up and you're like, hey, it's my life. Then somewhere along the way of the journey, the attention becomes a thing. But then you got to get over that. And the faster you get over the attention piece, the better. And there's your social media there. But the faster you get over the attention and the DMs and all the bullshit, and you start to get to a place where it's like, okay, this is a business for me.
Yeah, but it should also be fun. I mean, I know it's stressful for a lot of people. And at times, like, I felt it being a little stressful. I felt like a little pressure to make sure that my photos were good. And I almost felt like, can I show this much of my personality? Am I going to turn people off that I'm this much of a goofball and that I'm out there and rough around the edges and a pervert and gross for a girl? But then it's like, I don't give a fuck. This is me. Yeah. And that's something that happens with maturing and growing up when you just start to think, I just realized this is me. Take it or leave it.
And it happens with maturing in social media. Like, you mature into that. You reach a point where you're like, I don't want to be fake.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be real. But some people take the real over the top.
Oh, yeah. And then it's like you're doing it for like the attention almost. You just just be genuine, You're
like, I'm just being real and I'm just going to post me eating 47 Snickers bars and 7 pizzas. And it's like, it starts to become like an over the top thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how far over the top can I be? And, it's just you start filming stuff and taking stories just for the sake of filming them and taking stories. And it's not 100. And I believe not everything should be consumable for social media. I take the approach of like, social media is what I want you to see. It's an extension of it. It's the shining, glowing part of my day. Mm-hmm. I'm not there to post emo shit and be all over the place. I do my best to try to be like, hey, look, if it's not uplifting, I'm not going to put it out there because at the simple fact that everybody goes through the yo-yo. And it's like, I don't want to put every little pimple on my ass out there.
Yeah, I agree to an extent. But then, just like you said, everyone goes through the yo-yo. So maybe it is good to show a little bit, that you are human and you're not all fucking sunshine and rainbows. So, I mean, I think it's okay. But it's a balance, But right? I agree with keeping certain things private. The world, Instagram sees about me. They know what I want them to know about me, Not that I'm hiding anything massive, but some things I think, did you ever hear, like, sometimes you don't share things with the world because you don't want them to ruin it. I don't need because everyone has fucking 2 cents. They have their opinion, and I don't know. Sometimes it's better kept to yourself.
I like that. No, I agree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. That's pretty good. What about YouTube and some of the other platforms? Like, I see all these people, like these gamers, and these chicks are making money on Twitch and everything else. Do you have any? I know we've talked about YouTube offline, and you have some plans to kind of do a little bit of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah,
what do you think of all these platforms? It starts to become a full-time job.
Yeah, people are making money on it.
We were on the phone last night with Tony, and Tony's like, bro, Twitch, People are killing it on
Yeah, I
Twitch.
heard they're making like
He's
millions,
like,
some of them.
I talked to a guy I won't say the person's name. He was at the First Form event, and he's like, I talked to someone last night. I can't do it. I gotta do his voice right. Bro. I was on the phone. No, bro. I was at Andy's house last night, and I had a conversation with this guy, and they're making $3,000 a month on Twitch to do mag dumps. Motherfucker, to do mag dumps. It's like something like that. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, they go on Twitch and they pay $40 and they'll do a mag dump. And he's like 3 people will kick in money. Motherfucker, I'll go to the range one day a week or something. So, the whole media thing is like blowing up on its head. I got to work on my Cuban voice. The whole media thing is blowing up on its head right now. And it's getting crazy out there. Like, I'm starting to feel like an old man. Like, I can't keep up with it. Like, it's Twitch, it's Twitter, it's YouTube. And if you're trying to run and juggle all these plates, I mean, you just brought in your media guy now, and you're going to be doing, like, full tilt media now.
Super excited. Yeah, I want to do YouTube. Quite awesome fitness stuff, but I just want to be me, a goofball, obnoxious.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be huge for you. I think YouTube is one of the most untapped resources by a lot of people because everybody's so Instagram committed. Everyone was so pot committed to Instagram. And now with the algorithm and everything else, Instagram's starting to, not fizzle, but like reach a tipping point. And I think everybody's like, okay, we're realizing Instagram's limitations. We're realizing that we're limited a little bit here in this space. What's the next thing? And YouTube's been around for a while, so the hiccups, but I don't want to say it's YouTube is like the next big thing. It's already been here, but I think what YouTube has established now with cable TV dying is that streaming and in this channel is going to be the latest and greatest and be here for a while. It's going to stick around.
Definitely. Because
everybody has Hulu, everyone has Netflix, and everyone has Instagram. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone's going to be on those 3, and YouTube is going to be kind of like the circling shark around it because you can go on YouTube and search XYZ and you're just going to pull it up.
You can find anything on YouTube.
You can find anything on YouTube, and that's the whole thing. So I think that's going to be huge for you. I think you're going to do amazing things with that, and I think that's going to contribute to whatever the next step is that you do and whatever business that you choose to develop, whether it's continuing to model or going into clothing or going into whatever it is that you choose, because YouTube, you can do so much with it. You can film it like a channel. You can film it like a episodic TV show. You can do a podcast on it. You can do anything you want.
Yeah, I just want to show my personality.
What about doing a podcast? You should do one.
I would have too much fun with that, I think.
What do you mean?
Then you can come on my podcast.
I would.
Just roast you for an hour.
Yeah, I'll bring the whole crew. We'll come there and you can try and roast me.
Yeah, try. What do you mean try?
I'm an easy roast. Short, fat, and Italian's no way to go through life.
With a Boston accent.
With a Boston accent.
Yes.
I can definitely do it. We're going to do one. Rory and I are thinking of starting one. We're going to start one that's going to be like, we're going to do one where we're going to highlight the best buffets in Vegas. And it's going to be Rory and I.
I like that.
It's going to be the buffet hour. And we're going to do a review. We'll Yelp it. Is there any way, Rory, can we Yelp alive? Is Yelp geared for that? Can we start a Yelp channel? I don't think we can. Maybe we can.
You just want to Yelp live, like wherever we're eating and whatever we're doing?
Well, we're in Vegas. So what I'm thinking is we start something and we can get people's feedback on this that's like a review of everywhere to eat. Because you were talking earlier about these hamburgers that are inside of donuts. And I think, with cheese on them and they're fried. I think if we start going to these places and do like our own reviews, but it's live. And we just take a camera crew with us. And we just come in and we're like, we're here.
You actually might be onto something with that, because how often are most of these people that go and they do all these Yelp reviews, like they're actually either paid to do them or paid to leave
That's what I'm saying.
review, or they get free food out of it or something like that. If it's right in front of your face and you eat something that's disgusting as hell, I mean, you can't edit that out. It's just it's live. It's like uncut.
We just call it like the Rory Taylor John hour. And we just go and we just sit and we eat, and people like, we make a decision right there, like, this tastes like shit, or it's good.
Yeah, just like, hey, don't come here. It's
don't
horrible.
come here. It's horrible.
Right now.
We're leaving.
We'll see you later.
And we just throw money down and we walk out, or whatever. But I don't know. We're onto something there. We're live Yelp.
I like it.
An authentic live review
It involves food.
I'm all about it.
I'm game.
I'm game.
I'm in.
100%. We can even extend it beyond just restaurants. We could do gas stations. We can like go in gas station sandwiches. The best gas station food in Vegas.
Gas
I think
station sushi.
Gas station sushi.
I've never done it. It sounds gross. I don't know if I trust it.
I think we're on to something. I think it takes vlogging to a new level, and I think we can pursue that. But yeah, you should definitely do your own like podcast or review thing or something.
Yeah.
Could be in the cards. We're gonna have to talk about that.
I like it.
We'll talk about it offline. But I think it's been super awesome having you in here and having you being able to visit and take some time to come through and see where I work and see what I do. And what do you think of it all?
It's awesome. The guns were awesome. That was super cool. I got to hold them. You guys told me about them. Hopefully I get to, test them out one day. That would be gnarly.
Yeah, we talked about going to the range. I know you're on the mend right now, but we'll definitely get you to the range at some point. I think that would be a lot of fun. We can tee something like that up for sure. And getting you out to like 702 or something, or getting you in the desert to do some work with the brand, I think would be a lot of fun. I think that would be really cool down the line. But really, the first step was getting you here, getting you to visit, getting you to see the troops and meet some of the people. It's quite a production here, isn't it? Is it what you expected?
It's very official.
It's very official.
It is.
It's very official.
Yeah.
So
you guys mean business.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was something, we've been trying to do for a long time and trying to crank out some media and crank out some stuff and have some cool, fun people in. And getting you down was obviously something that was going to be important. And, you are the real deal. So I have up on the website now, kvar.com, where we carry all of our products, everything. You got to check out the Delta. You got to check out one of the AK pistols, SBRs actually, and suppressors. Everything that we sell is all available at kvar.com. And it's really cool to be in a building where not just we manufacture the stuff, we retail the stuff, but also we have a full line of pistols and a full line of AKs. So we have a lot of fun with that, and it gives us access to a whole bunch of cool stuff. You got to check out this AK right here. That's actually on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Super cool. Everybody thinks of ARs, AR-15s. That's what you carried overseas, but AKs are just kind of like something really different, really exciting. So I was glad you got a chance to kind of check all that stuff out and have some fun.
Yeah, no, it was super cool. Hopefully I get to work with the company in the future, and I would love to.
Yeah,
so,
no,
like really
I definitely mentioned it, and seeing some of the cool tactical glamour shots you've posted before, I think you're ready for it.
Oh, God, don't make
there
me
we go.
blush.
There we go. There's one.
Stop.
There's one. So who was the photographer? That was
he's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
He's a veteran himself. He's an Air Force vet.
So that was a different shoot you did, and obviously got a lot of reaction, but you're the real deal. I mean, you do it for fun. You enjoy it. And And I think, what was it? You did that in San Diego, California?
Yeah, no one believes it.
That's what I'm saying.
It was actually behind like a baseball field. They had like T-ball going on.
So how did, the real question is, you're in San Diego.
Yeah.
How do you get the guns there? Because everybody was commenting underneath. You can have those in San Diego?
No, we like parked on the little side of the baseball field, like behind.
So you just did it rogue?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, tactical.
Tactical. So
we did have like a homeless person bike going by, and we were like, oh.
You were like, are they gonna call the cops right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you do a guerrilla like that, So everyone, while we're doing that, Taylor, tell everybody where they can find you and where the best place to reach you is, and if you're doing online training, anything like that, what's the best way to access you?
No, I'm not doing online training.
No online training.
Let me just correct that. No. You can find me on my Instagram. It's Taylor_Spadaccino. I've got my email linked up to there. I've got my Redcon link. And
why would somebody reach out to you, and how does someone effectively slide into the DM?
The number one thing that I like is working with veteran-owned companies. So, like, if you're a veteran-owned company and you need someone to, collaborate with, I hate the collab word.
Collab.
But, I know, it's so cheesy. But really, if I would love to, even shout you guys out. I'm all about supporting veteran-owned companies. That's definitely big. Or anyone that even, supports the troops or the veterans. So anything I can do to help.
You obviously get a ton of DMs, ton of messages. What's the best way besides being a veteran-owned company? Do they have to be able to spell? Do they do they?
Well, really, email works best.
Email works best. Okay,
Yes.
so email is going to be the best way.
Yeah, you can get DM, but I mean, it's not hard. My email link is right
I
there.
only ask
It's more professional.
because clearly you've gotten your share of creepy DMs. What's the creepiest?
I don't know. There's a
I ask
lot.
every girl this.
I don't know. I mean,
Has
you get
anyone
the
asked you
typical-
for used clothing?
Of course. And then, will you pee on me? I feel like that's very common. And I always hear the used clothing.
Oh, we've
Will you
never,
pee on
Derek,
me?
we've never heard that. We had
Yeah.
back in the day. We had one that was hilarious. We had the whole cruise busting up. We had one girl, Marissa. So Marissa Loren. She lives here in Vegas.
Yeah.
So Marissa's a friend of ours. So Marissa was on, and I shit you not. If I'm lying, Derek, shoot lightning bolts in my eyes. She goes, I don't have a cool story. I don't have a cool story about sliding in the DM. And then she legitimately pauses and goes, but I did have a few prisoners send me jail mail. And we're like, what?
Oh, that's funny.
She would get like these prison letters from people that would be like, hey, I saw you on social media, like, blah, blah. And I'm like, you got legitimate prison mail? Like, how does that even work? How do they even get access to your address
That's funny.
to send you that? Like, that was the
little
craziest
scary.
thing. I've heard stories of people asking for clothing. Used clothing is a big one.
Another one is, if I pay you, will you talk down to me? I
Oh.
forget, there's like a word, something money. I forget the term
Let
that
me-
I've had a couple of these. Like,
Let me back
I
up.
just had to be hateful towards them, apparently.
Let me back up and ask you this. How does the person ask you to pee on them? Is that the lead or is that the act that
I
comes?
think they just went balls in and just went for it.
They just went all in and they just said,
Hey, will you pee on me? And a lot of feet are a big thing, I feel like, too.
feet.
Yeah. A lot of feet, toes, toe play. I don't know if that's a thing, but I think it is nowadays.
So obviously that's going to be a direct block and you're out.
yeah, you're done.
You're done.
Yeah, you're done.
You're out of here.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. That's just absolutely fucking nuts to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure you get them all and you filter through them. So if you're going to slide in the DM, you're going to ask Taylor a question. Please, if you're going to be a company, lead with a quality couple lines. If you're a veteran-owned company, please let her know. And
let me
don't
know.
request to be peed on or the feet
Yeah,
thing.
no, I'm not going to pee on you.
I'm not going to pee on
Nope, I don't care how much
So-
you offer me.
you. I don't care how much they offer you. So make sure that you do it with good manners and without ill intentions. With all that being said, where are you going to be next and where can people see you next? What show, what event, what do you got coming up?
I'll be in Japan in August.
In August. Whereabouts?
They have a show,
Do you know?
Okinawa, hanging out with the Marines. So
Okinawa.
Blessing and I are going. Blessing's also a Redcon athlete.
Q, maybe Master Splinter will be there. Hagadashi. So it's an inside joke, but so you go to Okinawa and you do what, like an appearance on the base or something?
Yeah, I believe they have a show going. And Blessing, he's a Redcon athlete. He's going to do some guest posing, and I'm going out there with Europa and
Super cool.
for Redcon. So
Yeah. Is that a
Yeah.
USO thing or just a Redcon thing?
I think it's just Europa. Somehow it's tied with Europa sports,
Yep,
and I don't know. It's all, but I'm going. So
But you're going.
yeah, it's really really cool. I can't wait. I always wanted to go to Japan, and
If you're not
Marines
in
are near and
Japan
dear. So
and you're domestic, what do you have a show? We have Olympia is probably the next thing, right?
yeah, was that? Yeah, I guess
Olympia would
it's
be the
coming up
next
in
thing.
September. So yeah.
Yeah, it's
definitely.
it's coming up fast. We're already into July.
And then I
pretty
don't know
much.
if they have any local shows coming up in Vegas, but
Olympia would be the next big
so-
one.
Yeah, big one.
That you'll
I'll
definitely
definitely be there. So
So if you're in
everyone-
Okinawa, go see Taylor. If you're going to be at Olympia, you can find her probably at the Redcon booth at some time and
For
that
sure.
whole crew.
Mhm.
So head down there, check her out, say hi. Use the email. That's the best possible way. And stay tuned for her YouTube stuff, and anything that she has going on IG will probably be highlighted on YouTube. So go ahead, give her a follow and check her out. I appreciate you coming down.
I appreciate you in general. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Well,
So,
I appreciate you coming down. I know the whole crew was pumped to have you in, and you know, it's been awesome having you as a friend here and having the ability to kind of lean on you, chat with you, and have someone local that I can at least, you know, reach out to and say hi. So thank you, obviously,
Thank
for your
you.
friendship, and I appreciate everything. And I appreciate everything, you know, that you're doing, your hard work, your work ethic. It's been huge. And I think everybody in the booth thanks you for coming out and spending some time and being able to kind of shoot the shit with us a little bit and do the podcast.
Well, thank you. I had fun.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So we're going to slide out. We appreciate everyone. I want to send everyone again over to kvar.com and thank everyone at KVAR and Arsenal and FIME. And we appreciate everybody taking the time. Anything else? Did I miss anything? We're good? Rory, get a thumbs up? All right, we're good. So I thank everyone, and I appreciate everyone's time, and thank all the sponsors. We are going to slide out.